In 1979, Belgian civil engineer Robert Bauval was waiting at Heathrow Airport in London for a flight to Sudan. While passing the time, he was engrossed in a book titled The Sirius Mystery by Robert Temple. The book delved into the beliefs of the Dogon tribe, an African group in Mali. For thousands of years, the Dogon have held a ritual every 50 years called the Sigui, a complex dance mimicking the apparent motion of the Sirius star. They believed this ceremony connected them with the spirits of the dead. What's particularly baffling is that Sirius is not just a single star but a binary system known as Sirius A and Sirius B. Sirius B orbits Sirius A every 50 years, aligning with the Dogon's ritual cycle. However, Sirius B was only discovered 150 years ago and is invisible to the naked eye, requiring a powerful telescope to observe. The first photograph of Sirius B was only captured in 1970. So how could a supposedly primitive tribe like the Dogon know about the existence and movement of this star without any advanced astronomical tools? Robert Temple, the author of The Sirius Mystery, theorized that this knowledge was passed down to the Dogon by the ancient Egyptians thousands of years ago. This idea sparked Bauval's interest, setting him on a research journey spanning more than a decade. Eventually, he proposed a groundbreaking theory that could rewrite our understanding of ancient Egyptian history, that Egypt, with its Nile and pyramids, is a reflection of the sky. Robert Bauval was born in Alexandria, Egypt, but moved to London at the age of 12, where he pursued a career as a civil engineer. Like millions of others, the pyramids had always fascinated him. In 1982, during a visit to the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, Bauval noticed an enlarged aerial photograph of the Giza pyramids. The photograph, taken from an altitude of around 2 kilometers, provided a bird's-eye view of the pyramids. As he studied it, 3 questions formed in his mind. First, why are there 3 pyramids? Why not 2, 4, or more? Egyptologists commonly explain that the pyramids are the tombs of the kings of the 4th dynasty, built around 2500 before Christ, and that these 3 pyramids belong to the kings Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. However, this explanation left Bauval with more questions. For instance, Khufu had a son, Jedefra, who built his pyramid at Abu Rawash, 10 kilometers away from Giza. Why didn't Jedefra build his pyramid on the Giza plateau alongside his family? Similarly, Menkaure's son, King Shepseskaf, built his tomb 18 kilometers away in Saqqara. Why weren't all the pyramids located together? The second question: why is the 3rd pyramid, Menkaure's, so much smaller than the others? Standing at just 65 meters, it's nearly half the height of the first 2 pyramids. Some Egyptologists suggest that Menkaure built a smaller pyramid to save costs, but this theory doesn't hold up. Menkaure's pyramid contains large quantities of red granite, with some blocks weighing over 10 tons, sourced from Aswan, 1,000 kilometers away. Red granite is difficult and expensive to quarry and transport. If Menkaure was trying to save costs, why didn't he use more accessible limestone? The third and most puzzling question: why the 3rd pyramid is slightly offset from the diagonal line formed by the first 2 pyramids. If you draw a line through the centers of the first 2 pyramids, you'll notice that the 3rd is slightly misaligned. Some have suggested this is due to the geology of the plateau, claiming that building the 3rd pyramid on the same alignment would have caused structural issues. But no one has provided concrete geological evidence to support this theory. These are the 3 points that confused Robert. Why are there 3 pyramids? Why is the third pyramid, Menkaures, so much smaller than the others? Why the third pyramid is slightly offset from the diagonal line formed by the first 2 pyramids? For years, Bauval was consumed by these questions. As a civil engineer, he was convinced that the pyramids were part of a single, unified master plan, designed and laid out all at once, rather than being constructed piecemeal by successive kings. He likened it to modern city planning, where streets, buildings, schools, and hospitals are designed simultaneously on the same blueprint. But what was this master plan? The answer came to him during a business trip to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. On a weekend desert safari, he was walking with a French friend who had an interest in astronomy. The friend pointed to a group of stars in the sky, noting that they formed a line, but the smallest star was slightly offset to the east. Bauval looked up and exclaimed, "I see the 3 pyramids of Giza." He had found the key to the mystery, the stars of Orion's belt. Orion's belt consists of 3 stars that form a pattern nearly identical to the layout of the 3 pyramids at Giza. The smallest star in Orion's belt, Alnitak, is slightly offset, just like the third pyramid, Menkaures. This alignment explained the pyramid's sizes, positions, and orientations. Excited by his discovery, Bauval approached Egyptologists with his theory. He contacted Dr. Harry James, the head of Egyptology at the British Museum, but was met with skepticism. Undeterred, Bauval sought out other experts and eventually found support from Dr. Edwards, a respected British Egyptologist, who encouraged him to continue his research. Bauval began to study the pyramid texts, the oldest sacred Egyptian writings found in the pyramids of Unas and Teti in Saqqara. These texts describe the king's journey to the afterlife, mentioning a winding waterway in the sky. For example, the text says in one of the sections,
"Would you carry me and lift me to the winding waterway? Would you make me a dwelling place among the gods, the immortal stars?"
In another part, the text says,
"The winding waterway has overflowed, and I am crossing to the eastern side of the sky, to the place where the gods created me, where I was born anew as a young man."
Ancient texts spoke of a curved waterway in the sky and the king's journey from the west to the east to dwell among the eternal stars. The ancient Egyptians believed that the stars were the dwelling place of the gods. Many Egyptologists believe that the curved waterway refers to the Milky Way, which appears as a winding river in the sky. The text in the Hermetic writing states that Egypt is a reflection of the heavens. Most who came across this phrase interpreted it as metaphorical, symbolizing beauty and purity. However, Robert believed that the statement referred to a literal reflection of the sky, suggesting that Egypt is a direct image of the heavens. His studies concluded that Egypt, with its Nile River and 7 massive pyramids from the 4th dynasty, is indeed a mirror of the sky. The Nile River represents an earthly version of the Milky Way, which is seen as the celestial Nile. The 7 pyramids on the ground correspond to 7 stars in the sky, mirroring their size, brightness, and relative position to the Milky Way. For instance, the Abu Rawash Pyramid corresponds to the star Saiph. The 3 pyramids of Giza align with Orion's belt. The pyramid of Zayat El-Arian corresponds to the star Bellatrix. The 2 pyramids of Dashur match the stars of the Hyades. This alignment confirms the meaning behind Hermes' phrase, "Egypt is a reflection of the heavens." The ancient Egyptians especially revered the Orion constellation, which they called Sahu, and the star Sirius, which they referred to as Septet. The appearance of Sirius was associated with the flooding of the Nile, a source of life. Astronomically, Sirius is linked to the Orion constellation, which rises just before it. In terms of religious beliefs, Sirius was associated with the goddess Isis, while Orion was linked to Osiris. The stars of the Hyades were associated with Set, Osiris's brother who killed him in the well-known myth. This theory leads to a very important conclusion. The pyramids were not built independently of each other, as we once thought. Instead, they were designed by the same mindset at the same time as part of a grand architectural plan influenced by religious beliefs, spatial considerations, and a deep understanding of astronomy. From the very beginning, it was planned for 7 pyramids to be located at these specific sites under the framework of a single project. The design was laid out simultaneously, although its execution may have taken many years, 100, 200 years, or more. The exact time frame is not crucial. Thus, the idea that King Khufu decided to build his pyramid on the Giza Plateau, and then Khafre decided to build his next to it, and so on, with each king designing his own pyramid as he saw fit, is clearly incorrect. Similarly, the notion that the bent pyramid had a flaw in its angles during construction, leading to the building of the red pyramid beside it, is also incorrect. As we will see in future episodes, there is no such thing as a mistake or a coincidence. What has been recorded in books as design or construction errors were not mistakes, but intentional designs. It was planned to have 2 pyramids in Dashur. The red pyramid corresponds to the star Aldebaran, while the bent pyramid aligns with the star Elnath from the Taurus constellation. Aldebaran is described in references as a red giant star because over millions of years, the hydrogen in it turned into helium. This transformation was accompanied by a significant rise in temperature, which caused its surface to turn red. Do you think it's a coincidence that the pyramid corresponding to the red star Aldebaran is built from reddish limestone, giving it the name the Red Pyramid? Of course, it's not a coincidence. Everything was part of a precise design. After extensive research into the pyramid texts and their relation to the stars, Robert published his theory in a scientific journal called Discussions in Egyptology *. He felt that he had done his part by linking the pyramids to the stars and decided to stop at that point. However, a small observation will open the door to discovering something even greater. The age of the pyramids. Stay tuned for the next episodes.